What's going on, guys? What's going on? I'm Jay the Black. Salute to everyone that's tuning in. I know a lot of y'all are probably preoccupied today, but I wanted to get this video uploaded because apparently there is a vicious back and forth going on Twitter right now between Stephen A. Smith and Terrell Owens. For those of you who may or may not know, a couple of years back, Terrell Owens appeared on First Take. And he proceeded to basically say that, paraphrasing, but Max Kellerman has more of a black card than Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A. Smith has never gotten over that. And there are people, and the reason why we are here is because T.O. actually responded to a tweet or X where somebody put up the clip. And T.O. was like, facts. They say, well, you know, this is why Max Kellerman got fired. By the way, I did not know Max Kellerman had fans like that, but apparently Max Kellerman has fans, which he needs to utilize into whatever he does next. He needs to go and build his own platform because it seems like there are people that actually support Max Kellerman and feel like he had a raw deal. All right. Basically, T.O. saw the clip and he said facts, and Stephen A. Smith had a meltdown. And he proceeded to go on a rant aimed at Terrell Owens. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to get into this article as well. This, according to Marca, says Owens shared the clip in response to Smith finally admitting he did not like Max Kellerman. And yes, he basically put it out there that he did kick him off the show. You know, Stephen A. Smith and Terrell Owens are once again bickering with each other via social media after the NFL legend reposted an old video of him calling former First Take co-host Max Kellerman blacker than Stephen A. Smith. Owens, who's 49, shared the clip in response to Smith finally admitting on the Joe Budden podcast that he did not like working with Kellerman. During their time together at ESPN, the Hall of Fame wide receiver believes the iconic moment in what led to Stephen A. Smith's dislike of his co-host. Smith, who's 55, did not mince his words when replying to Owens' tweet threatening to expose him if he keeps talking. Now, let's go to the... Now, as for this dude, that's an entirely different story. Smith tweeted, "You know how I feel about your sorry bleep, Terrell Owens, and you know why. You should thank your heavenly father. I haven't zeroed in on you with the trifling bleep you tried to pull. Tell folks to ask ESPN what your desperate bleep tried to pull. Keep on talking. Eventually, you'll expose yourself." Owens clapped right back away by claiming he isn't scared of anything Stephen A. Smith might say about him. He says, "Now Stephen A. asked me if I'm scared. I thank God every day, or I at least try to. But do what you do best. I'm not worried. You don't have to make some bold attempt to expose me because I have nothing to hide." Owens tweeted, "You're mad because of the advice my attorney after we filed against the ESPN because on air without my consent, you shared our text conversation. I'm not sure that constitute as desperate, but enlighten us all. So my boy, hone in on me. I'm good, I'm blessed, and God got me. You still salty about that interview I did with you and Max a few years back, and I said what I said, and today I'm still Team Max. Got that man fired. That's messed up. You saw me in Colorado. You should have told me about my sorry ass then." I believe they're both, I don't know if Stephen A's in Colorado, but I know he was there, and Terrell Owens to say, you know what, you saw me in Colorado. You could have came and talked to me if you had a problem with me. If you feel some type of way, we know Stephen A. Smith is not going to confront nobody. You know, he talks a tough game, but Stephen A. Smith is the type of guy, he'll talk about you from a distance, but if he saw you in person, he'll be the first one to try to give you a handshake, right? Even though I'm 100% against any type of violence or fighting or anything like that. Smith continued to beef by announcing he will address Owens on the next episode of his podcast. So he's trying to get views out of it. I ain't got no problem with it whatsoever. Do you? The Stephen A. Smith Show on YouTube. or maybe I'll dedicate the entire Stephen A. Smith Show podcast on YouTube this Monday to all things you tried to do behind the scenes to brothers over the years while claiming someone is more of a brother than our others. Smith tweeted, let me think about that over the next 24 hours. I mean, go ahead and do it. I mean, Terrell Owens says he has nothing to hide. You don't think Terrell Owens can go and get on a podcast and, go to the Joe Budden podcast and say the same things that he's saying now that can go viral? Just because you have your own platform doesn't mean that he can't go and find a podcast. Maybe he does his own. I believe Terrell Owens does his own podcast. I don't know if he's still doing it, but I know he had his own. So Owens made his original comment about Kellerman being blacker than Smith due to the way Stephen A. Smith spoke negatively about black players and overall culture. The legendary wide receiver again responded on X to Stephen A. He says, behind what scenes? Again, man, I'm not worried because I stand on my character and who I am, Owens said. You better come with some facts and not this hearsay and anonymous sources, because that's not gonna fly. I agree. So if Stephen A. Smith is going to expose Terrell Owens, he definitely needs to name names. Names needs to be named. We need names. Dallas Mavericks guard Kyrie Irving, who has also had his fair share of drama with Smith, tweeted at both men to tell them a phone call would be a mature thing to do instead of fighting. You see, Kyrie's very mature, because one of the reasons why I felt like, Stephen A. Smith is a guy who is gotten full of himself at times is because of how he would at Kyrie Irving for not getting the jab and how he went after him. And even Kyrie Irving is being the bigger man in this situation. Can y'all call each other like grown, mature men and clear the air without all the extra social media back and forth? Get what you need off your chest and move on, Irving tweeted. That's Kyrie Irving there. Stephen A. Smith said, respectfully, bro, you don't know the whole story. I have nothing to say to his sorry, pathetic ass, but that doesn't mean you're wrong. You are right, bro. I'm man enough to admit that. I will stand down. Respect. And Terrell Owens wasn't done, family. He wasn't done with Stephen A. Smith by a long shot. Right? He says, don't stand down now. I'll be sorry and pathetic. Be sure to keep that same energy when you see me the next time. You see I'm not intimidated by you because you have a platform and a loud mouth to claim that you're going to allegedly expose me about something. It seems to me that you're the one being exposed. Please expose me. Let us know what you got. I, along with everyone else, will be waiting. I don't bother nobody. I'm just me. And if you don't like me, then that's a personal problem. He went here and says, I guess he responded to Chad Johnson's LOL. They went 11 and okay, they're just talking about that. But he says, you know what, come call me and let's talk about you guys, Stephen A. Smith. He's still mad at me about the Max Kellerman statement that exposed him, and now he wants to expose me because I went after him through legal representation about the issue. So now my ass is sorry and pathetic. Call me. Josina Anderson, it says, I agree that it's fine for Stephen A. Smith to want change, but Max lost a job and deserves due grace too. As you and others also stated, had many fans too. Now, he just put this up as of 3 minutes ago, right? He says, I can't wait to hear what he's going to expose about me. We'll be waiting. Anything to get the people to tune in and increase the ratings on his show, but I'm here for it. Hey, Stevie, when it's all said and done and you open up your mouth with the annoying overuse of vocabulary to try to expose me, I'm still Team Max. So that's what he had to say, man. T.O. was ready. T.O. was ready to confront him on this. I have no problem with Terrell Owens stand. All he said was facts. And Stephen A. Smith could have ignored it and spoke to him behind the scenes. Say, hey, bro, you got a problem? But he went public because it's all about promotion. He wants to use this to promote his podcast. I ain't got no problem with it. You're a showman. You're an entertainer. I see Stephen A. Smith as an entertainer. He's an entertainer. He wants y'all to watch his podcast. So this is good for him. But it's also good for T.O. because T.O. has supporters. It seems like people, you go and look at his engagement, there's a lot of people who seemingly are agreeing with him and what he's saying. There are probably people who agree with you, what you're saying, Stephen A. Smith. But to me, Stephen A. Smith saw an opportunity to, promote himself. And, I have no problem with that. Do it. I'm a content creator. Use things to your advantage. See, I have a platform. If I have an issue with somebody, I can post about it. If I'm that type of person. It takes a lot of energy too. When you go after people like Stephen A. Smith is going to attempt to do to Terrell Owens, it takes a lot out of you because these two are, they know the same people. They could get in touch with each other behind the scenes. But again, this is a way for Stephen A. Smith to promote himself. But I have no problem with Terrell Owens standing up for himself. And the fact that Stephen A. Smith shared messages on the air about Terrell Owens and almost got himself sued, he's been bitter about that ever since. But listen, man, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll see y'all next.